Now, the important thing is you only need one person at the beginning to register for your firm or your organization at first. They'll be the firm administrator. What you're going to do is enter in everything, enter in a security question. What you do is you'll get an email. That will start everything off. Then I'll take it from there.
Did you see that see the Maryland Judiciary thing you just clicked on in the upper left-hand corner? That's, if you ever get lost in the system, you want to get back to the home page, you just hover over that and click it, and it'll take you back, so it's kind of a do-over.
It's like a home page icon.
Yeah.
But yeah, all we need, the firm administrator will set everything up. I'll walk that through with you shortly, but they can send email invites to everyone and get everyone started. That's not good.
You got a space there. You have to have an upper character and a lower character. I have an attorney friend who will remain nameless, who uses the dirtiest word he can think of as his password. That way he says he never forgets.
Too many accounts. Well, no, this cares. MDEC testing, okay. Okay, this will eventually work, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, wait, this is the live site, that's why. Nope, I was entering it incorrectly. It was just the wrong website. There we go. Okay, everyone. This is the file and serve system.
You don't think Arthur feels a little better? That just works.
Everything is filed by the filing dashboard. Everybody, you see this little thing on the left here? It shows your filing activity. Now, what's important to note is this is filing activity from the last time you logged in. So if you see any pending, accepted, return, that's from when you last logged in. So you might have more cases that are pending or more cases that have been accepted in the past. Just so you know, any numbers that pop up like right here, that's when you last log in. Pending is anything you've submitted and the clerk is waiting to review. Accepted is anything the clerk has already approved and accepted. Returned is anything that's been returned to you due to some type of deficiency. I'll go over that.
There's rejections and then deficiencies. So the rejection, there's only 3 things that you can get rejected for. The lack of a signature, you didn't sign the document. The lack of a certificate of service or an initial request for an initial summons, right, if you're filing a complaint for the first time. And then the third is that you didn't pay, but you can't really not pay because it just won't let you file. There used to be, if you talk to any of your colleagues from the other counties, there used to be a redaction certificate that was required. But Arthur will show you when you go to file, we built the certification that you have to make into the system itself so you don't have to file another piece of paper. What I didn't want to do is to create an electronic system where the requirements are more than what they would have been in the paper world. Fortunately, the Court of Appeals agreed with me and they let us do that.
Okay, draft.
The deficiency notice is when you just didn't get something right. Let me talk about that for one more second. Is anybody here from the PD's office, Public Defender's office? We have a separate training for them and for the state's attorneys, but there's this tendency, and I did it when I was in practice, whenever I had to enter my appearance in a criminal case, I'd also file an omnibus motion. It had speedy trial, it had anything I could think of to throw into that motion was in that motion. Under the rules, you cannot file that omnibus motion in one PDF because they have separate time frames that need to be tracked by the clerk. So you have to break out each one of those into a separate PDF. There's just recently been a rule change on that confirms that. So I would spend the time, if you do a lot of criminal defense and you file that omnibus motion, I would spend a little time right now breaking that out into its component parts and making them the form, kind of the model form that you're going to use when you file, okay? Because otherwise it'll be a deficiency.
I appreciate that, Chief. The public defender was not happy with me when they heard that. Draft is anything you haven't submitted yet. You can, pick this up from wherever you resume at any time. And serve, you don't actually have to file with the court. You can actually serve an individual directly, and that's what this little served icon is for. Serve
after the initial serve.
Mm-hmm. If anyone ever has any questions, this little e-filing guidance and resource link basically acts as a help bar. You just type in whatever you need, like you were curious about the uniform subpoenas that the judge mentioned earlier. You type that in, or type it in here. And it'll actually walk you through step by step or take you exactly where you need. So if anyone has any questions, like I said, that's another means of getting assistance. This is in addition to the Maryland Judiciary Seal the judge was talking about. This is the traditional home button. And let's start getting started with a new case. You have two options. You click on the Actions button in the upper right here. Either click on Start a New Case, or if you're filing into an existing case, you can do that as well. Those two options are over here with the blue buttons as well. You can also create templates. If you actually file one type of case particularly often, like a divorce case or something, you can set it up so you can preset, what type of court you're filing, the type of motions and such, and just make it so the template, saves you a lot of work, and you just load the type of case you want, favorite it, and it should save you some time in the long run. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to walk you guys through starting a new case. I'm going to click Start a New Case. Now I want everyone to see how everything is highlighted in red here, and everything else is grayed out. The system won't actually let you proceed until you fill out all the necessary information in the red outline boxes. That means something's required, you actually have to fill that in. So let's say Anne Arundel Circuit Court and family. And let's go try absolute divorce. Now you can actually scroll through all the case types, ladies and gentlemen, or you can actually just type it out. There you go. Absolute divorce. And click Save.
I don't know if you noticed that Save Changes was gray before, and now it's changed to blue. The most common complaint that we get is they're stuck on the page and they can't get to the next section. It won't let them go to a next section. It's because they forgot to hit the Save Change button. You'll see what happens once he hits that. See how the next section then just lit up and you get a key that says you've got it done.
Yep, and it'll drop down. Now, the case type that you actually entered in up here will automatically load the default parties that are required for the case. You can, of course, add additional parties over here by clicking the Add Additional Party button, but the default parties are already entered. You don't have to actually enter them in at the beginning yourself. Just remember that so you don't have to actually enter in an additional plaintiff or additional defendant or anything like that. Okay, let's see now. There's trouble in paradise, ladies and gentlemen. Now, okay, Maryland, there we go. Phone numbers are not required. And if you have no lead attorney, add that. Click Save Changes. The party should be added up here. Okay, let's try the defendant now. I am sorry for traumatizing everyone's childhood. There we go.
And remember, this is only for a new filing that you had to add those two parties in. If it's the second filing, that information is already going to be in there. You kind of skip through this part.
Correct. And now we get to the actual filing system. Now this is the initial filing, so it's only going to show e-file. However, if you try to file into an existing case, you'll have the options of e-filing, serving, e-file, and serve. So you can, just e-file. You can actually just serve, or you can e-file and serve in court. Okay. Now you select the filing code of whatever it is you're actually filing. For example, let's file a complaint for absolute divorce. You enter in the filing description. by the rule, you actually have to describe what you are, the actual file is. Okay, you can't name it document 1 or 2 or 3. Otherwise, you're going to get rejected by the clerk, and you have to start all over again and correct that. Absolutely.
Yeah, just don't call everything a motion, right? I mean, it's a motion for something,
right?
Right. So it helps the clerk immensely and the judge, because when you see it as the judge, when you see it on the screen, there are things that are like if you have a motion with 6 exhibits and you do it the right way, I'll see the motion for summary judgment, and then the exhibits will be offset each one. And so rather than and the rules require this, rather than having that all as one big PDF, you have to break out those documents into its individual PDFs. I know that's a lot of work. However, if you want a judge to grant your request, you want to make it as easy for the judge to read and understand. The problem with a PDF, when you have a 100-page PDF that has exhibits scattered throughout it, you don't know where it starts and where it ends. So you have to scroll down through maybe 30 pages to find where exhibit 1 is. That's why it has to be broken up piece by piece.
Of course, the filing fees are going to be reduced to reflect the fact that we're making work easier for the clerks and the judges, right?
But we're on that, yeah. Going before the legislature. If they think it's a good idea, we'll lower the fees. Yes, if it's circuit court, if it's district court, you have one form that has all of that in it.
Could you repeat the question?
Well, you have to separate the motion memo and affidavit and separate PDF.
Yep.
And I got the answer to that.
Okay, the client reference number. If anyone has any type of internal tracking number they use for their office, you can enter that in. That's for your convenience. Comments to the court. If you need to say anything to the clerk, let them know that the judge needs to see this by whenever, or you need to point something out to about the case to them. That's your chance to let the clerk know. It's similar to saying something to them in person. It's not public record. They'll just see it when you're filed it. Courtesy copies. You can enter any emails in here. This is not service. It just sends a courtesy copy showing that you filed this particular filing to any of the email addresses you type in.
Like your client, you can send them an electronic version of what you filed.
Or if you're a support staff, you can let your lead attorney know that you have filed on their behalf. Now, actually, filing. You click on this little computer icon. It's like an email attachment, actually. Currently, the system only accepts PDFs. I don't think it actually will let you upload it unless you have a PDF, but there's a lot of free programs to convert to PDF. What you do is,
if you're used to working in Word, any of the more current versions of Word will convert it to a PDF. Convert and save to a PDF. Put it on the way I do it is I put it on my desktop, although I have, probably not, that's not a good advice. Don't put it on your desktop, because I have like 4,000 icons on my desktop, but I know it's the most recent one that I created, so when I go into this system and pull it, it's at the very top, and I can shoot it out.
Yep. Now the document will be uploaded. Now you see the security level here, and you see it's not highlighted in red. The reason is it's not required. If you don't actually select it, it's going to default to public. Now this is a test site, so you see additional security options here. You'll only see public and confidential. Public is, exactly what it says. Public, anyone can view it if they go to the courthouse. Confidential, if you have any information you need redacted, please select that. I know a lot.
As a general rule of practice, because there's case law, it has nothing to do with the MDEC. But as the filing attorney, you're responsible for any personal identifying information and the release of that personal identifying information. So the system that in here, it'll ask you on the next one, if it's confidential, you would file a redacted version and an unredacted version. When we see that come in as confidential, we lock down the unredacted version until the judge can decide what's going to happen, and then those 16 rules take over about what the next thing is.
Just click Save Changes, and you're all set. Now you see how it drops you right down to service contacts next. A lot of people don't realize and think they can only file one thing. That's not true. All you need to do is scroll back up, click Add Additional Filings. You can add in additional filings if you'd like.
In the same case.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yep.
think of it just like you would as a regular envelope, right? If you're going to file an entry of appearance, a motion for summary judgment, and the motion to win the case, those would be 3 separate submissions, but you're going to you're not going to put 3 envelopes and the stamps on them, right? You're just going to put them in one envelope and file them all at the same time.
And you can add any service contacts. Once you're actually registered in the system, your email, well, this is actually at confirmed service contact. That's who everyone that's in your particular office. The public list, once you're registered, everyone will be in the system. Now, I do want to make a particular note, if you're trying to serve the state's attorney's office for any particular reason, do not serve an actual individual state's attorney. The state's attorney's offices around the state have opted to have generic email addresses. If you actually go back to this front page here, first page here, the MDEC website, go down to e-filing resources, there is a section serving state's attorney's office. That's that form I just showed you. It has all the generic addresses that the state's attorney has listed. And come October 16th, we'll have the Western State's Attorney's Office's email addresses as well. The reason for this was everyone kept serving the state's attorney for each individual county. They got tired of it, the route they elected to deal with their particular filings, so they could sort out the filings and distribute to them as they saw fit. Okay, back to the system. So just select any service contacts you'd like. Once you verified that, select a payment account. Okay. I'll show you how to enter the credit card in just a little bit, but you select the credit card, or if you're a government agency, I'm sure that doesn't apply for most people here, you can select waiver. Click Save Changes. And you'll have these little 3 submission boxes. This basically means you're complying with the rules. The first one indicates that you've actually electronically signed the signature as required. There's 3 ways to actually sign electronic signature in MDEC. First one, you can actually sign it, through.
That's me.
Yep. That's the chief. You can sign it as normally with a,
That's at the beginning of the day.
You can sign it normally. And then just have scan it in. The other option is what I have right here. You can create an electronic signature and just copy and paste it onto the documents, that you create. The third option is very popular, what the chief was talking about before. This counts as an electronic signature. All you do is type /S/ and the name, and that will count as an electronic signature. Just make sure, like the chief said, you use the copies here.
It's the same as it was before. Just think about it. You always had to have your typed name and address and telephone number and that stuff under it. Just don't lose that part of it, but you can put that electronic signature of /S/ as long as we know who the attorney's name is.
Second option is that you've attached a certificate of service. Now, although all the documents do have to be separate, the certificate of service can be attached at the end of documents. That's an exception. And then finally, the third option is, as what the chief was mentioning before, this is that you've actually looked everything over and you redacted any confidential information. Now, before I go...
We had one attorney over on the Lower Eastern Shore who was just marking everything confidential out of abundance of caution, right? You can't do that either, because it's not confidential, only confidential. You guys know what it is, financials, those kind of things.
Now, this is normally where I go over some of the 20 series rules for MDEC. However, I think the chief covered most of them. I'll just add on to that. With the advent of MDEC, come October the 16th, you can file whenever. The business day for MDEC starts at 12 a.m. It ends at 11:59 p.m. You can file Monday through Sunday, holidays, weekends. It will backtrack it to the business day. No, your court filing will be accepted on that same day. Any time standards will be relying on business days.
Right. So, for example, if you file on 11:59 because the statute's running on you on the next day, as long as you get it in by 11:59, assuming that it's accepted by the court, even if that happens 5 days in the future, you file 11:59 on a Friday night, and it's a 4-day weekend or 3-day weekend, then it relates back to the time frame that you originally And if there's any type of, if there's a system outage, we track all those things. So if for some reason you can't file, which is rare, it's extremely rare. It means the Tyler host has to go down. It's not that your internet provider isn't letting you in, but the Tyler is down. Then the time is extended, and we post those on the website and say that you have X amount of additional time. Of course, you won't see that until the system comes back up because we're offline. But there's no other way of getting it to you.
Yes, sir.
So does that mean if a filing is due on a Saturday, that you have to file it on that Saturday and you don't have until the Monday to file it?
No, it's still the same rules apply. It's the counting time. Same. The nice part, what's interesting is you can see some, we'll see filings at like 2:30 in the morning, 3:30 in the morning. You have to work all sorts of crazy hours. Particularly when it snows, we have to staff up harder on the morning after it snows because you guys have to stop. One of the nice things, you can take your laptop home with you and you can do this from wherever you're at now. You're not confined to your office. It's the same with me as a judge. As long as I have my computer with me, I can process it anywhere. A lot of judges are doing that now. That's why they have to have one of the laptops that I've issued them, and I issue every judge one. They get a new laptop when they go live because it's encrypted.